This is opened today by the Southern Miss Softball Complex. This facility was built in 2002 and is home to Southern Miss Softball. We practice and play here at this facility on a daily basis. This complex is probably one of the better softball fields in Conference USA. For this video, I will cover the field, dugouts, stands, and we'll talk about the safety issues that may be thought about before construction is finished. So first, the field. In our textbook, there's a section in Chapter 6 that covers the layouts of softball and baseball fields. For softball fields, it says that the infield is all dirt, unlike baseball, which has grass infield, and the outfield is all grass. Some schools have started to have turf outfields and even turf infields, but they differentiate the two by having brown turf for the infield and green for outfield. According to the book, the field is supposed to be crowned, so it's higher in the middle and it slopes outward so that water can drain off. Our field is pretty flat, but as you can see in the corners of the outfield, it kind of dips down just a little bit, but for the most part it's very flat. I'm out here in the outfield now. Every outfield there's supposed to be a warning track, which is just any kind of dirt, just to let these outfielders know when they're getting close to the fence, so they can know to stop running full speed and kind of put their arm out, feel for the fence, just kind of help them out so they don't run full speed straight into the fence. Fields without these warning tracks put players at greater risk for injury when they're chasing those deep hits. The fence in the outfield either must be 6 foot in chain link that has to give so that when players run into it, they kind of bounce off of it instead of just hurting themselves, or it must be padded for their protection. Next, we'll look at the dugouts and talk about buffer zones. Many times in baseball and softball, great catches are made outside the lines of play. It is very important to have big enough foul territory for players to attempt to catch foul balls to reduce the risk of injury. Many times, players rely on their teammates to tell them if they still have room between them and an obstacle, like the dugout or the bullpen right here. Seidler covers this in his article about designing safe facilities by saying if there are any obstructions, they must be padded. This field has a decent buffer zone between the foul line and the bullpen or dugout. There's also a warning track. There's all that dirt right there, same as in the outfield, just to let them know that they're getting close to an object. The fence in the dugout is padded since infielders have a risk of running into it to get a foul ball. They're not really looking at what's around them, they're more focused on the ball, so it's very important to have these objects like fences and everything padded for their safety. Next, we'll look at the dugouts and see some concerns in there. So the dugouts at this facility are very open and there's a high potential for foul balls hitting someone. In almost every game there has been a ball hit straight into the dugout, line drive. It's almost hit a couple players. I've gotten hit before. Some of my students have walked out of the bathroom and almost got smoked by a ball. One way to prevent these possible injuries would be to have a net that extends up. So at other facilities they have nets that go from the bottom of the dugout all the way to the top. Some have the net behind home plate just extend all the way down. It is very important to always be ready for a line drive when you're in the dugout. You always have to be on your toes, always got to be ready, watching what's happening. Many of the girls stand there with their gloves just ready to catch a ball just in case it comes at their face. Concern I have right here is this little area. I'm not really sure why this was done like this, but the white marks dead space, but if an infielder is coming for a ball, they're not really paying attention. They can't see this ceiling thing, and if they're tall, they're probably going to hit their head. This is not a good part of the dugout. Lastly, we're going to look at the stands. Stands behind home plate. Everything is metal bleachers except for that middle section, which is black plastic seat backs. There's enough space here to fit 1,000 people, and there are wheelchair accessible seating, but it's not labeled. There are signs warning that the metal bleachers may be slippery when it rains, but other than that, that's it. There's no other signs. There's no sign saying where the handicap seating is, which is right here, this little section. And there's another one on the other side. Signage is very important at facilities like baseball and softball facilities because of the risk of foul balls. there's a net right here. So there's some protection, but it stops right there. So the middle section is protected overhead, but the side sections are not. And that is where a lot of foul balls fly. This middle section is covered, but once you get closer to the press box, that top row right there, there's a foot between the net and the press box where many foul balls have flown. And they think they're protected, but the balls will just fall through. So the back net either needs to be taller and extend all the way across the dugouts, which would be a lot safer than what we have right here, or they just need to cover it like this middle section. Another feature that wouldn't hurt to add and probably wouldn't cost a lot would be signs just saying this is handicap seating. There's potential for foul balls, potential for injury, just so that they know, that the fans know what to expect. I mean, of course, people that come have probably been fans for a while, but at the same time, just to save your back and save everybody else, just have signs. This is a very good facility overall. It's very well taken care of by the facility staff and the team. I would only change a couple things around here. I would add more signs, more warnings, handicap signs to differentiate where the handicap seating is. Foul ball warnings, of course. Also, I would extend the net across the entire dugout, maybe even the bullpen, and just have a better protection for the fans behind the plate and off to the side. It would just be better, and I'd feel a lot safer, honestly, at these games if there was a net just protecting me from these line drives. That's all for me here at the Southern Miss Softball Complex. Hopefully we beat UTSA today and get the win for the series. Southern Miss to the top.